This is easily one of the worst scandals in American history, and it's right under all of you guys' noses, and you don't even know about it. We all know that the Democrats and the deep state utilized a phone application called CBP-1 to hasten, abet, and aid illegal immigration into the United States. But what most people don't know is that the Democrats and the deep state and the bureaucrats in the government knowingly let in hundreds upon hundreds of terrorists and thousands of drug cartel members using this app. This is gigantic. This is insane, insidious, incredible, unbelievable, almost too sickening to be true. But it is true. Watch my video and learn all about it. This legislator wanted the TSA to quit accepting
the Border One app.
So there's an application called the CBP One app where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand.
After watching that vice presidential debate last night, I was curious just how easy that CBP One app was to use. So I downloaded it. So once you create an account from the main page, you just have to choose if you're the smuggler or the smugglee. Then you just got to fill in basic info, first name, last name, all the basics. I don't know my gender yet. I'm still figuring that out. Now it's time to take a selfie, and passport or any identification is also optional. Then it asks you which state you're headed to. I said I didn't know the address. I didn't know the city. I just chose California, and then I added the first zip code that Google gave me for California. And that's it. I'm good to go. It does let you choose between like 8 different bridges to meet under. I chose the Eagle Pass bridge to meet under. I just have to wait until noon, so a couple more hours to actually make my appointment. Now I know what you're saying. That's not you, that's Carlos Mencia. Correct. I was just trying to show you how easy it was to register. I'm just a white dude from Michigan. This took me 5 minutes. Someone who really wants to get into this country, get temporary asylum with open-ended expiration dates, they'll just use their own picture. I said I have no documentation, I have no ID, no passport, no license. There is no way to cross-check who I say I am with who I really am. All they go off of is the picture that you submit.
And wouldn't you know, a terrorist group figured this out.
Well, one of the terror suspects from Tajikistan used that app to get into America.
It wasn't 1, it was 8.
Why do you want to stop the TSA accepting that app?
TSA shouldn't be accepting that app as a form of ID because it requires no valid ID. All you have to do is fill it out, put in whatever name, whatever biographical information you choose to. Then you can get into the country, just like this terrorist got into the country last year. This terrorist who's now been arrested.
Again, he means 8 terrorists from Tajikistan.
Those 8 suspects reportedly with ties to ISIS are Tajikistani nationals who authorities believe came into the United States through the southern border. The arrest came in a coordinated sting with suspects detained in Los Angeles, New York, and Philadelphia. The 8 Tajikistani nationals reportedly having ties to ISIS. Authorities confirming ICE agents arrested several non-citizens pursuant to immigration authorities. The actions were carried out in close coordination with the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Forces. Fox News reporting the suspects were allowed into the U.S. pending asylum after being fully vetted.
They weren't fully vetted. According to Representative Jim Jordan, ICE arrested 8 Tajik nationals with potential ties to ISIS in June of 2024. 3 of those potential ISIS members were released into the country using Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's CBP-1 app. It's almost like they wanted something to happen.
You know, what's really scary is that we don't know anything about the other hundreds of thousands of people who have gotten in using the CBP-1 app.
Well, that's not completely true, sir. We do know that many of these people are connected to the drug cartels.
And we've seen a lot of those cases that have entered on the CBP-1 app show up as criminal aliens, in the arrests that we've made.
How's the app used?
How is it
Yeah,
used?
how's it used to do that?
Well, what we've seen, especially the fraud from that, is that the cartels were actually using it down in Mexico and having people sign up through them to then get on the CBP One app and get around, being able to go through. So the cartels were actually making money off of the CBP One app.
That's insane.
You are right, Representative Mace. This is insane. Can't believe this is happening to this country.
This one in particular we know is a terrorist. How many other terrorists are there out there, Stuart, who got into the country the same way, using the app?
So you're aiming for security here, but what you would also do, you'd be to cut down on the number of people who'd just be flying around the country, the number of migrants flying all over the place. You want to cut that down and improve security. That's the basis of this.
Yes, that's the basis of it. What the VALID Act says is that you cannot use the CBP One mobile app either to enter the United States as a form of ID accepted by the Department of Homeland Security, or alternatively, to fly from one U.S. city to another. You know, U.S. citizens, when they board a plane in Denver, bound for Salt Lake City or anywhere else, they have to present a valid form of ID. Likewise, when a U.S. citizen leaves the country, they've got to have a passport so that they can get back in. Illegal aliens don't have to produce either one. All they need is access to a phone and the CBP One mobile app, and they can enter in whatever they want. The VALID Act would end both uses that I just described and therefore make our country safer.
Within HSI, we saw the misuse of the CBP One app by those subjects that we did encounter, oftentimes subjects of criminal investigations.
The cartels using
cartels.
CB One app to get people into this country illegally. And we know this. We know this, and we allowed it to happen.
So what's the Democrats' response to this proposed amendment? Let's see.
By providing people with advanced travel authorization, it allows them to avoid human traffickers and drug cartels and other criminal organizations. Accepting this amendment will lead to more encounters at the border, pulling our agents from other work and responsibilities, like stopping drug cartels from getting fentanyl through our border. And it will create long lines at ports of entry as individuals travel to the border to apply for asylum.
So there you go. The Democrats fought tooth and nail to keep this phone app up and running that was ripe for fraud and allowed in countless numbers of criminals, terrorists, drug cartel members, and they opposed rescinding this phone application because, quote unquote, it caused long lines at the border. Disgusting.